Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Talk podcast. Honestly, to get right into this episode, I don't even want to say anything else before I put socials out there because I feel like everything I want to say goes a part of this episode, if that makes sense. Streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, anywhere you stream your podcast, or we are here on YouTube. Girls Gotta Talk podcast. You can subscribe, come join the fam over here. I am also gonna apologize for my voice. It probably will start to sound super raspy if it already doesn't, because I haven't fully gotten hit with a cold, which I think I mentioned, I don't even know how many episodes back, but I had said something about I thought I was feeling sick. I thought I was gonna get hit by a full cold, but I never actually got sick with anything. I have had times where I just didn't feel 100%, but I never fully got hit with anything. I just sound super congested, but I haven't been congested. And part of me was just thinking it was a post-nasal drip type situation, because part of it all was just stuck in the back of my throat. But I've had a little cough here and there sometimes, but for the most part, I've been kind of okay. I haven't had a fever or anything, so I don't know, but I just know at some points, my voice is fine. Other times, my voice sounds a bit crazy, and I sound like I'm completely sick when I'm not. The last couple days, I haven't felt awful at all, but I sound different. I sound sick, but I don't feel sick. It's the weirdest thing, and I wish, it's one of those things where it's I wish, not that I want to, but I would just get sick, or I need to just not sound like this, because I hate the fact that there's two factors in this. But anyways, I'm just gonna put that out there because I feel like this is gonna be an episode where I just go on a ranting ramble rampage, if you will. If you don't follow any of the Girls Gotta Talk podcast socials, definitely go and follow the Instagram. I posted a poll the other day on there on which episode you guys would prefer to hear. It was a this or that, but it would have been just me because I couldn't find anyone to record it with, so it would have been my take on this or that type situation. It was a winter TBR, some random facts about me, or basically, I was thinking it of as just I don't want to say brain dump, but just dumping out everything that's kind of been on my mind lately. And as you could tell by this episode, by the title, I don't even know what I'm titling this yet, but you could tell by this episode coming out that is the choice that won for the episode to come out this week. So definitely go follow the Instagram to be a part of those things. I also had put up a poll for which week I wanted to have a little holiday fun with and do extra episodes. So this week, if you're listening to these episodes, the week they came out was the week that won. So instead of getting one episode this week, we ended up with 3. So this has been a lot of fun, a lot of sitting, a lot of recording lately, which I've actually been loving. I thought I would be more stressed out than I kind of have been. This episode I'm literally recording, and then I have to edit it today, and it goes up tomorrow. It'll be the 3rd episode this week. But I don't know, I had the other 2 I posted regularly on Wednesdays. I posted that episode, and then I posted on Monday. So it was a Monday, Wednesday, Friday during the week to kind of split it up a little bit. But I had the other 2 episodes kind of pre-recorded, ready to go. It basically came down to when this week started, I just had to schedule and prepare thumbnail and the little thing I post on the Instagram stories with links for the episodes when they come out. But yeah, I don't know. We're just going to kind of get right into this one, kind of grab some snacks, grab a drink, buckle up. I feel like a lot is going to be thrown out. I feel like this is probably going to be one of the most vulnerable episodes I've probably ever recorded and put out there. But again, this was the topic that won. This is what you guys wanted to hear. And I feel like lately, I've just had a lot to say almost. Like, you guys are going to be my therapist and just kind of, I guess, listen if you want to. If you don't, I completely understand. But I don't know. I feel like I've been in like a funk lately. Like, I feel like, so to preface this whole thing, I wrote this little note on my notes app on my phone. I freaking love that thing. I use it for so much, between random things that come to my mind that I need to remember. I'll just write it down in there. I have like, honestly, passwords in there. So if you ever get into my phone, like, you probably have everything for my whole life. I have that in there. Like, I have podcast ideas. Like, I have grocery shopping lists. Like, anything you need to find for me is probably in the notes app on my phone. But I wrote this in the notes app on my phone November 20th. So this is like how long stuff has been kind of brewing for. Today is December 12th when I'm recording this. So this episode is going out December 13th. It's going to be Friday the 13th. We'll put that out there too. So I don't know if that has a factor in everything. I know it's about to be a full moon. I don't know what's been going on lately to get me into wherever I am right now, but I wrote this November 20th. Today's date is December 12th, and I feel like everything I've been thinking, kind of going through, little things I see here and there on social media are still kind of like speaking to me, if you will, which I feel like for it to be almost like a month long has been kind of crazy for me. Normally if I get into like a little funk or a little like, I don't know, like, I don't even know how to explain it. It really doesn't last this long. Like, you might have like a day or two where you're just kind of feeling out of it or feeling not right. Like, you need a mental break. You need, I don't know, just something. I feel like for me, it usually doesn't last this long. And now, like I said, we're almost a month in and I just haven't pinpointed what is going on, I guess you could say. So part of me is not upset that this episode was the one that won, but part of me is like, I don't know if I wanted to go out and say all this because I feel like I haven't been this open, honest on this podcast, which of course I would love to do. We're going to get into it. This is kind of like my outlet, so to speak, on everything. So of course, just sitting here and being able to talk is perfect for me almost. I don't know. We'll see how deep this episode kind of gets, but I feel like there's just been different things like popping in and out of my mind that I just needed to talk about and get out in the open, I guess you can say. I don't know. Like, I've just kind of been sitting with myself, if you will, lately and thinking about things that I want to like change or what I want to do, like ideas I have for certain things. I feel like, honestly, almost like a 'tis the season where like it's just a stressful time. I will say right now I just left Target before I started to sit and record this episode. I just left Target. I got all my Christmas shopping done. For it to be December 12th and I have all my Christmas shopping done is kind of really good for me. Granted, this was a year for some reason. I just didn't know what to get people. So I'm not gonna lie, like, my brothers both kind of ended up with like little trinket things and like gift cards. I didn't know what to get. I know I got my dad like not a big gift, but like a gift. I got my mom like a gift and like again little like trinket things that she'll open. My son, I got some gifts. I got some gifts for like not big, but like little small things like for Julian, like from JJ type of situation. So that way like they'll exchange in the morning and like Christmas Day and like all that stuff. But nothing was like too big this year. But I don't know, like it was just been a stressful time. I've been trying to think of ideas and things to get people and I literally couldn't come up with like anything. But I don't know, part of me is also like happy that I'm just done with Christmas shopping already. The stores, I feel like have been crazy and I feel like they're only going to get crazier. So the fact that I can hopefully avoid that rush is super exciting. I actually am a type of person that loves wrapping presents, so I'm extremely happy for that moment to get into that. I don't know when I'm even gonna wrap, but I know I have to like very soon. It's definitely my own doing, but I feel like now until like Christmas almost, I'm working almost every day of the week. So it's gonna be a very, very busy time. But honestly, like I work in retail, so it's just kind of what you're expecting around this time. But again, I did it to myself, picking up shifts here and there, like working extra hours. Like it's just that time of the year, so to speak. So I will be fitting things into my very tight-knit schedule right now, if you will. But I just know, like, at one point, everything's going to get done. Everything is going to fly by. The end of the year is going to fly by. Like, this time goes by very, very quickly. So I know in a few weeks, like, I'll have a little bit more relief and definitely less stress and everything. But for the time being, we're just kind of powering through, going with the movement. Like, I don't know, like, I'm just kind of putting myself in, like, a mindset almost that it's just time of the year. This is what happens every year. We're just kind of going with the flow type of situation. But I don't know. Part of me started this whole funk, if you will, by noticing that, granted, don't get me wrong, I love this podcast so, so much. It's like my second baby. I've loved the thought of podcasts, and I've been super excited ever since this podcast was made. But I feel like I feel like I've said this a million times before too. I just haven't honestly found it yet, which is how crazy it's been. I've been wanting something more. I don't know when I necessarily started saying that. I feel like I want more. Like I want something to change. And I've been trying to think of what I want for this podcast. Like part of me wanted to honestly take a break for the end of this year and start again in the new year, start thinking of things to change, things to do. Definitely topic wise, I feel like I need something different. I do want to get more a little deep personal. That's just how I am. Like if you open me up, like I could become an open book. But it takes me a little bit to get to that point, if that makes sense. But I feel like that's what I made this podcast for. Again, like I had said in the beginning of this is like my outlet type of thing. The fact that I sit alone to record also makes it a little better for me because I feel like I'm just with myself. Like this is basically just bringing my thoughts out loud. And I feel like sometimes when you're like talking out loud, you actually like hear things better than if they're just going on in your head. This might make me sound totally insane, but I feel like you're sitting there and you start hearing things out loud and either they start to make more sense or you see what went wrong somewhere, like if you're trying to figure something out. So the fact that I'm just sitting here and talking about all this might bring more sense to me, like make things more clear. I don't really know, but I want something changed and I don't really know what I'm looking for. I know I have certain ideas for some things that I want to bring kind of to life. I just haven't really sat down and either thought or like made it become a thing. I know if you didn't know, I have like a personal YouTube channel, not just the podcast. But I have some video ideas and ideas for that. But I've honestly been focusing more on the podcast than I have like on that channel. But I kind of want to get back into both. So I have ideas that I want to kind of, again, bring to life. I feel like sometimes with the YouTube channel, I'll just think of ideas and like videos to do and whatnot. But I'll never actually do them or I'll never actually get to them or I just don't make the time, which maybe is one thing I want to change. I want to make more time for these things because I do really, really, really enjoy doing this all. But I don't know, it might just have to be a moment where I just sit and plan things. I love planning things, so that's definitely not a problem, but I think I need to just dedicate more time than I'm doing right now for all this. I don't know. I feel like that might have been the start of this all. My next thing, like thought process of this whole thing was, I don't even want to call it like seasonal depression, but I feel like for some reason this year, this winter season has hit me harder than normal. I've never been one to be like, oh, this whole seasonal thing hits me. But for some reason, like this year, I've noticed I've looked at the clock more. And of course, like with the winter over here, like it gets dark very early. It is currently 5:05 p.m. to be exact, and it's dark outside. For me, like that just doesn't sit well. It doesn't settle well. I love it so much better when it gets darker later in the night. Like I love the summertime when it's like 8, 9 o'clock and it's still somewhat light outside. Like you could still see things without it being super like pitch black dark. So I don't know if that's just been kind of kicking me a little more. I've just been feeling very like meh, like blah type of feeling almost. And I would honestly say, my voice just cracked so bad right there. I would honestly say that I've kind of not really been feeling like myself, which is really weird to say for me because I've never really felt that before. I don't know, like I've never been a type of person to be like, oh, I don't really feel like myself. Like when people say that and they explain like what they're going through, how they're feeling, like I totally like get it. And I'm like, oh, like you just feel bad because like you know who they are as a person, but for them to be like, I don't feel like myself, like I don't want to do the things I love or like just the little things. I've never actually like kind of realized I felt that way. And now that I'm like saying it out loud, like I don't want to say I feel crazy, but it feels so weird for me. Like I just haven't been feeling like myself. I know something's been like missing. I don't know if it's with me, with work, like what I want to do. Like I don't know. Like I can't pinpoint a moment or like a situation, but it's just been something new for me. And I don't know if that's what's throwing me off. The fact that I actually feel like this and I've never really felt like this before, but I don't know. It's thrown me for a loop. It's thrown me off guard. I feel like it's kind of been messing with me. I don't want to say like mentally, but just like honestly, even as a whole sometimes, like it's been such a weird last few weeks for me that I feel like obviously like I want to figure everything out. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to say pushing myself because definitely haven't really been pushing myself, but I feel like there's also been times lately where I've just been really focused on wanting to do a lot for this podcast. Specifically, there's been times where I can be in bed early, but I'm staying up on my computer, like trying to plan things, trying to write things out, trying to figure things out. I definitely took a lot of time to plan out this week and what episodes I wanted to record and put out for you guys. Some extra episodes that I needed for now, but then I realized I'm going to bed at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And like by the time I wake up in the morning to go to work, I'm like, wow, that was a bad idea, but here we are. Last night, I literally just couldn't sleep. I didn't go to bed till 3:30 in the morning. For some reason, I rolled over, was up at 4:30, finally fell back asleep. My alarm was going off 7:30, 8 o'clock to kind of get me prepped for work in the morning. I'm so glad I filled up this water bottle. Total side note. I feel like because I knew I was going to be going on a rambling rampage, if you will, that was going to make my throat really dry and mess with my voice that already sounds kind of crazy. So this huge bottle of water has been saving grace for me this last couple minutes that I've been recording. And I feel like, I don't know what it is. This is totally off subject, but for some reason, like drinking a drink through a straw just makes it so much better for me. I feel like that sounds so weird now that I said it out loud, but something about straws. Like I can't drink a drink without a straw. For me, that's so weird. And then I'm also not a type of person that drinks a bunch of water. I definitely should be drinking more water than I do. And I bought this like big cup, almost like a knockoff Stanley looking type cup, with hopes that it would make me drink more water. Because I feel like cool cup, a straw, I'll be set. And honestly, I've been drinking more water than I have been, which is really good. But I filled it like right before I started recording, and it's kind of been a lifesaver and very helpful right now because my throat is totally getting super dry. But anyways, I forget what I was saying before I went on that water rampage. Oh, so I've been going to bed. Yeah, last night couldn't sleep. Woke up this morning, got a large coffee on the way to work because I was like, yeah, last night was rough. I don't know why I did that. Well, I mean, last night I literally just couldn't sleep, so I couldn't help it. But every other night is totally like my fault type of situation. So I don't know. I definitely need to like do that better, have a better bedtime, sleep schedule, like that type of thing. But yeah, I don't know if like that's been kind of throwing me off too, because I feel like there's times where I could be catching up on sleep and getting more sleep than I have been getting, but I'm just not giving it to myself, so to speak. So that I know I definitely need to change. And I feel like all of these are just kind of factors into how I've been feeling or whatever's going on with me, if you will. So I know I've just been kind of thinking of all these things, thinking of what I need to change, what I can be doing to make everything a little better. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm also not a type of person to go on TikTok. I know that's definitely probably an unpopular opinion, but I have the app and I have like an account, but I haven't ever posted anything. I usually only watch TikToks that get sent to me. I know like coworkers have sent some, my brothers have sent some. I'm usually like, it's basically the same thing, but I'll go through like Instagram Reels because I'm on Instagram more than TikTok. I never like ever by myself would be like, oh, let me just go on TikTok. But I was on there. This had to be like weeks ago when I said I wrote this note in my app. I had to stop myself from like looking at videos the other week. This is where I also knew that like something was off with me because I felt like everything I was watching was just sad. Like it was all sad videos, sad like memes, sad little like quotes. Things were coming up and I was like, why is everything seeming like too much for me right now? Like it was just one of those moments where I was like, I have to stop. Like I literally had to stop myself, close up the app, and everything just felt like it was too much. Like I couldn't just scroll through it at the moment. Like I don't want to say I couldn't handle it, but I was like, what is going on right now? Like that's when I knew I had to like kick myself out of this little funk or whatever you may call it that's kind of been going on. But I did come across this post and I don't know. I feel like it was just one of those things where it's like you didn't know you needed it in that moment type of situation, but I feel like it kind of fit when I saw this, but right now it might be like kind of random. But I loved looking at it and I loved thinking of the post. It was basically like two sides of situations and kind of like a be more interested in. And it was like a positive side of a situation, like the more positive side of a situation, which I feel like I don't know what episode it was in, but I feel like I had just talked about, like the one I posted around Thanksgiving where I just listed things I was like super thankful, grateful for. And I feel like I talked about like positive people in my life and the people that kind of saw like the better side of things or like the more like positive side of things. I feel I am a type of person, I know I've mentioned it before, that I can have a lot of good things going on, but like once something bad happens, I'll start to overthink that one thing and it cancels out like all the good that happened, or when I know something's either going to be happening or going on, and I start thinking of like, what if this happens or what if that happens? Like, then what type of situations? When realistically, it might not even happen at all. But I just kind of dwell on those moments and dwell on those thoughts and possibilities, I guess, which I definitely know I want to kick for myself, because obviously you don't want to be like thinking and dwelling on those things. But yeah, like I said, I saw this post and it had a bunch of bullets that was like two type of situations. And I think it had like a be more interested in like caption or something. So I thought I was just gonna read those off and just kind of talk about them, because like I said, it was a moment where it was like, I didn't know I needed this. Like, I didn't know I needed to see this at that moment, if that makes sense. So on this list, the first thing was how far you've come. So this is again like a be more interested in. It was how far you've come rather than what you haven't accomplished yet. And I feel like this one kind of hit me pretty hard, because I feel like this goes back to what I was saying about so much good that could be happening, and like one little thing goes wrong, and that's the part that I dwell on. I feel like I have to focus a lot on how far I've come with things in general, like not even just life, but just like every little thing in life. How far I've come rather than what I haven't accomplished yet, or like goals I have that I haven't reached, or anything like that. I feel like just focusing on what you have accomplished and what you have done like really well, or like things like that. I feel like that one within itself, to like start off the post, I was like, wow, like this is something I really needed to see at the moment. The next thing was the present moment in front of you rather than what your mind wants the moment to be. I feel like this one was pretty interesting too, because it was more of a be present at like where you're at in life, whatever stage in life or whatever goals you're getting at, rather than where you thought you'd be at this point in life, or where you thought you'd be in regards to the goals you're trying to reach. Like, you might think, oh, I should have gotten that goal by then, or oh, that should be like settled by now. But wherever you are, it's just kind of like be present and take in what's going on around you. Like, yes, you might not be at where you think you should be at, but just still enjoy where you're currently at in life, rather than where your mind is telling you like you should be at, if that makes sense. The next thing was what is working out rather than what is going wrong. And this one is where I was talking about. So what is working out well rather than what is going wrong. Basically, no matter what good is going on or how many things have been happening in a good way, I feel like lately every time there's one single thing that can either happen or that went wrong, that's what I dwell on. Like, that's what I've been saying in this episode. So that's where this one is also, I reflected it in the first one, but this one is 100% what I needed to see, I guess, in my life, like at this moment. I'll dwell so hard on it, and it's so bad because it's where I start thinking and I'm like, yeah, like one thing went wrong or happened or whatever, but how many good things have happened, or how many, I don't know, basically just like the more positive side of whatever situation, compared to that one thing that you don't want to let go or didn't go well. I have to remember to keep focusing on the good and forget about the bad, because I don't know, I feel like it keeps you more focused on where you want to get to. Like, same with the last bullet, like you might not be where you think you should be at, but it keeps you more focused on where you're trying to be, and the goals you're trying to reach. It kind of keeps you out of like a negative headspace, almost like a negative mentality, like down moments with yourself, like a self-doubt situation. I feel like you really just have to focus on the more positive side of everything going on in your life or going on like around you almost. I know sometimes, don't get me wrong, it gets really hard, but I feel like I have to keep kind of preaching that to myself. The next thing was how you treat others rather than how they treat you, which I feel like this is a new one that kind of got to me. I feel like recently I've been seeing a lot of moments in people where it's like you don't know what's going on, but you're just getting like basically like the shit end of the stick. Sometimes you might know why, sometimes you might not, but at the same time you're just like, what the heck? It's just kind of like a slap in the face sometimes when you're, I don't know, like you could be super nice, super respectful towards someone and like that's what you're getting in return. But this is where I've noticed that, I don't know, like you kind of always grew up being told like treat others the way you want to be treated type of lesson. And I feel like that's really all you have to think about sometimes. Like you're always told that you never know what someone else is going through. And like you don't. Like if you think about it, you really don't. Like no matter how much someone opens up to you or like talks about something to you or tells you about something, you like, if you think about it, I feel like this is kind of the negative side of it, but at the same time, it's the truth, if that makes sense. You'll never know if they're telling you 100% everything, which is totally fine. Like, I'm not looking for someone to feel like they need to tell me every little, like, minuscule part of something. But at the same time, like, you have to just be nice. Like, you have to take whatever they're telling you and realize, like, that's just what you know out of the situation. There could be stuff they're holding back. There could be something they think they want to talk about, and then they get into it and they're like, okay, never mind. Like, I can't do this right now type of situation. But you just realize, like, you just have to be nice. Even if you're treating someone, like I said, with respect and kindness, you're doing basically everything right. You're doing basically everything that you could. And if they're being like a jerk or like super rude, then I feel like that kind of is a moment where I realize like that isn't your problem. Like it's more of a them problem because they might, like I said, have something that they're doing or going through, something on them. And it it it's a moment where it's like if that's what they want to do to make themselves feel better in the moment, like just kind of let them. They'll get it out one way or another. It might be on you. It might be for no reason at all. But at that point, sometimes there's just really nothing you can do. That's where you just kind of like back away out of situations. But I wouldn't even worry about it. Like that's the part I've been telling myself is don't even stress it, because if you're just being nice and doing all that you can do and you're not getting the same respect back, you've noticed like it's not really a you problem, it's a them problem. And there's really nothing you can do about it in that moment. Honestly, like it's at the point where it's like you can't even get offended, you can't take it personally because you did what you're supposed to do. Like you did all you can do rightly almost in that situation. Is rightly even a word? You did all you could do right in that situation. So you're just kind of letting them deal with whatever they got going on, how they want to deal with it. They might come back to you, realize that they were in the wrong, but in the moment, like, I feel like there's really nothing you can do. And I don't know why, like, I've been kind of realizing and noticing that lately, but it's kind of the truth if you think about it. The last thing that they had was feeling the discomfort of your emotion rather than protecting the part of you that is afraid of the discomfort. Basically, this was my sign of you're human. You kind of had to let yourself feel. Like you're gonna have feelings, you're gonna have emotions, you're gonna get sad, you're gonna get upset, you're gonna wanna cry, you're gonna get scared. But it's kind of a moment where you just have to let yourself go through the time to feel whatever kind of emotions you're feeling or going through. I promise you, you'll feel better afterwards instead of having it all bottled up inside. I feel like I am 100% the type of person that would honestly probably rather have it bottled up inside. But then again, I'm also the type of person that gets to one little moment where it all comes like crashing out, like fuel, like fight, fire, like it'll all come out in one little moment because it's at the point where so much got bottled up that like no more can be bottled up inside. It's just all going to come out normally in a very negative way, but I don't know. It's a moment where it's like, talk if you want to, talk if you need to. I know like opening up and talking about things with people is hard, and like trust me, like I really only talk to certain people about certain things. I get very picky with my people, if that makes sense. Like I have to, I don't know, like I have to feel obviously that I can trust you, because I'm not just going to open up to anyone about literally anything. I'm a very like private person. So if I am opening up to you, like it's kind of on a whole new like personal level. But I'm also the type of person that once I get comfortable with you, I talk about like anything and everything. Like I'll be the type to be like, hey, like I need to talk, or hey, like just listen to me ramble. Like you don't even have to answer, but like I just need to get this off my chest type of situation. And I feel like I start to get annoying almost, because I feel like at one point I probably don't want to shut up. Like I'll just keep going, which of course, like I feel like some people are like, no, like it's fine. Like if you need to talk, talk. But at the same time, like I feel like I'll notice that I'm talking too much, and that's where I start to also shut myself down. But I don't know. It's a really weird situation for myself, but it's at the point where that's where I know I have too much bottled up inside and I need to get it out somehow. That's also why I love journaling personally, because like I said, I get pretty picky with my people. So that way, if I'm like writing and just putting it all on paper, like I'm not really talking, but I'm kind of like, I'm still getting it out somewhere. And then at the same time, it's either I can save that paper and use it as like a reflection of this is where I was at this time versus this is where I am now, like somewhere in the future. Or I can literally rip up that paper to shreds and know that I got it out and feel a lot better, and just, I don't know, put it in the garbage. Like no one has to see it. No one has to know. But like I still feel a little better, I guess. I don't know if that's a way to look at things, but I feel like if you're want to get it out, but also type of person where you're very private, I guess that could be a resolution was the word I was looking for. But I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those things where it's like afterwards, just a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. Like it'll feel so good. Well, I don't want to say always. Most of the time, it'll probably feel really good because you got what you needed to get off your chest, and it's not bottled up in you anymore or bothering you because it's always in the back of your mind. Like you don't know who to talk to. You don't know how to get it out. I feel like there's always someone somewhere that's willing to listen. You just kind of have to find the person that you like or trust to talk to. But yeah, I feel you. I'm definitely, like I said a million times, picky with who I talk to about certain things. There are some people that are like iffy. I'll do like on the surface type talks. There's other people that I feel like know probably more than they should, but at the same time, like that's where I become an open book, and you just realize that you're just someone I could talk to and go to about probably anything. Might be a little weird because at that point, like I'm literally going to you for anything. But yeah, so there's both sides of people in my life, people that know what I kind of want them to know, and people that probably know way too much, but it is what it is at that point. But yeah, I don't know. That's my little ramble, I guess. Just what's been on my mind lately. It's ranging from Christmas stress of finding out what I wanted to give people. Now I'm stressing about when I could actually sit and rap. Work-wise, loaded schedule. But like I said, that is like on my own doing, so I can't really obviously blame anyone but myself. But there's that. There's just the whole feeling like I need or want more, but I don't really know what I'm looking for. I know I want to fix things with this podcast. That has really been on my mind kind of heavy lately. I want to get back into YouTube within itself. I don't know, there's just so much I've been wanting to do that part of me feels like I've been neglecting it, and now I'm at the point where I'm like, I need to fix this. Been in a little funk, not really been me lately, never really experienced this before, so it's a really weird feeling for me. And it's, I don't want to say unsettling, but because of the fact I feel like I've never had this moment before, it's a really weird feeling for me. So I'm trying to really like figure out what little points made me get to this point, if that makes sense. So trying to figure that all out. But yeah, I think that's all I had for this little therapy session, if you will. Thank you guys so much for listening. I feel like this is one of the longer episodes I've had in a while, but if you have listened to the whole thing, I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys so much. I'll see you soon back with another episode. Bye.